All right, people. Settle in, grab your metaphorical late-night whiskey or kombucha, whatever your poison is, because we need to talk. Seriously, pull up a chair. This isn't your grandma's advice column. This is raw, unfiltered truth, the kind that might sting a little, but ultimately saves you a whole lot of headache and heartache. And let's be real, a whole lot of money. So how many friends do you have? I mean, right now, if I throw that question at you, some of you, bless your heart, you're probably already rattling off numbers. 5, 10, maybe a whole Discord server full of people you game with, and hey, good for you. But then there is the rest of you, the ones who just paused, tilted your head a little, and thought, that is a good question. You're the smart ones, the ones who intuitively know there is a catch, a deeper layer to this whole friendship thing. Now, let me tweak that question just slightly, and watch how fast that number plummets faster than a meme stock after a pump and dump. If your life imploded tomorrow, like full-on, apocalyptic, everything, you know, is gone implosion, you lost your money, every last cent, your status, poof, gone, your comfort, absolutely zero left, and you were stuck. I mean truly stuck, with absolutely nothing, zero, zilch, to offer anyone. How many of those friends would still be standing right next to you? Exactly. The silence is deafening, isn't it? That number, it shrinks. It shrinks so fast it makes your head spin. And why? Because there is a massive, gargantuan misconception running rampant in our generation about what actual friendship even is. We've blurred the line so badly between a genuine friend and a mere acquaintance. It is like trying to tell the difference between a Bitcoin scam and actual decentralized finance. Impossible for the untrained eye. And because of this muddy mess, so many of you are just out there, surrounding yourselves with people who frankly do not give two hoots about you. They don't. I know, harsh. Right, but it is true. You just hang out with them because it is convenient, because they're there, because you don't want to be alone. Think about it, really stew on this for a second. A huge chunk of the people you consider friends are nothing more than friends in circumstance. It is like those fleeting relationships you have with people on a 5-hour flight. You're stuck together, you chat, you laugh, maybe you even share a bag of lukewarm peanuts. But the moment that plane lands, poof, gone, never to be seen again. Same principle. You go to the same school, you work the same shift, you play the same ridiculously addictive online game. You share a schedule, a routine, but not a bond, not a true connection. The moment that shared environment evaporates, the second you graduate, or quit that soul-crushing job, or finally uninstall that game, that friendship completely disappears, and you never ever hear from them again. That wasn't a real friendship, folks. That was just two people surviving boredom together, two ships passing in the night trying to avoid the terrifying abyss of their own thoughts. But we cling to these surface-level relationships, don't we? Like a drowning person to a life raft made of tissue paper. Why? Because being alone, that is terrifying. It truly is. We want the illusion of a full roster. We want to feel chosen, like we're popular, like we're part of the in crowd. But having 20 people to go to a party with, to snap a quick selfie with for the gram, that is absolutely useless, utterly pointless if you don't have one single person you can call at 3 a.m. when your mental health is in the gutter, when your investment portfolio just took a nosedive, or when you just feel like your entire world is falling apart. You need that one person, not 20. So let's cut through the noise. What actually makes a good friend? For me, and trust me, I've seen my fair share of both the good and the horrendously bad. A true friend is someone who operates on your wavelength. They're not just vibrating at the same frequency. They are literally synced up with your ambition, your goals, your underlying mindset. I'm talking about someone who sees your vision, not just your current reality. When you're trying to level up in life, whether that means launching a business that everyone else thinks is crazy, getting into the best physical shape of your life, or just improving your mental state. So you're not constantly battling your own thoughts. The people around you, they're going to act as either engines, propelling you forward, or anchors, dragging you back down into the depths of mediocrity. And here is where it gets spicy. Fake friends. They get extremely uncomfortable, like visibly twitchy when you start trying to improve. They will actively mock your ambition. They'll hit you with the classic lines. Oh, just relax, dude. Take a day off, you're working too hard. Why are you taking things so seriously? Just chill. You know the drill. Why do they do this? It is simple. Your self-improvement. Your relentless pursuit of better. It holds up a giant, shimmering mirror to their own complacency. If you succeed, it is undeniable proof that they could be succeeding too. If only they weren't so damn lazy to even try. It is easier for them to drag you down than to lift themselves up. Misery loves company, and mediocrity, well, it absolutely adores it. A real friend. A genuine ride. Or die. They don't do that. A real friend is in the trenches with you, mud on their boots, sweat on their brow, right there in the thick of it. When you tell a real friend about some massive, crazy, utterly insane goal you have, something that makes most people snort their lukewarm coffee. They don't laugh, they don't dismiss it. They look at you, their eyes alight with the same fire that is burning in yours, and they say, "Oh, okay. How do we get there? What is the plan? What do you need from me?" They want you to win just as badly as they want to win themselves. There is no secret jealousy festering beneath the surface. No subtle competition trying to one-up you, your victory, your hard-won triumph. That is their victory too. Finding someone who genuinely claps for you, who stands up and cheers when you win, that is incredibly rare. It is like finding a unicorn that also happens to have a perfectly diversified investment portfolio, practically unheard of. But here is the flip side of that shiny coin, and it is a hard truth, a really hard truth that a lot of people just don't want to hear. If you want a friend like that unicorn, that engine, that battle buddy, you have to be a friend like that. Period, full stop. You cannot. I repeat, cannot demand loyalty, ambition, and deep connection. If you are entirely self-absorbed, if your world revolves solely around the magnificent gravitational pull of you, being a good friend, truly being one, is not a passive activity. It is not something that just happens by accident. It requires actual, deliberate, consistent effort. It means listening to them. Truly listening, even when you'd rather be talking about yourself, about your latest stock pick, or your groundbreaking business idea. It means showing up to their wins, celebrating them. Even when you're currently taking a few L's in your own life, when your own progress feels stalled, and crucially, oh so crucially, being a good friend means having the spine, the sheer guts, to tell them the truth, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it might cause friction. A fake friend, they'll watch you make a terrible decision, something so obviously self-destructive it makes you cringe, and they'll keep their mouths shut. Why? Because they don't want to deal with the friction, they don't want to rock the boat, they just want everything to be easy, to be convenient. A real friend, though, they will look you dead in the eye, they will lean in, and they will call you out on your nonsense, your absolute garbage decisions. They will tell you when you're being lazy, when you're treating someone like absolute dirt, or when you're actively ruining your own damn life. It might cause an argument, a shouting match even, but they value your long-term well-being, your actual future, over your short-term comfort. Over a moment of awkward silence, that is love, real love. I know how profoundly important this is because I had to learn it the hardest way possible, and believe me, it was a brutal education. A few years ago, I had a really close friend, someone I would have confidently, without a shadow of a doubt, called a brother. We had the exact same mindset, the same twisted sense of humor, the same relentless drive to build something, to conquer the world, but as time went on, I got way too comfortable. I started treating his unwavering loyalty as a given, like it was a renewable resource that would never run out. I would dismiss his problems, brush them off because I, in my infinite arrogance, thought mine were always bigger, more important. I would make jokes at his expense, little jabs that chipped away at our foundation. I would flake on plans because something better came up, assuming he would just always be there, patiently waiting for me to grace him with my presence. I treated him like a background character in my own movie, a sidekick, rather than a partner, an equal. And the terrible, absolutely soul-crushing thing about taking a good person, a truly good person, for granted is that they usually don't explode at you. They don't scream. They don't rage. They don't make a scene. No, they just slowly, quietly pull away inch by agonizing inch. By the time I had actually woken up, looked in the mirror, and truly deeply realized how toxic, how self-centered, how utterly undeserving I had become, the damage was completely done. The bridge was burnt to ashes. I tried to fix it. I really did. But it was too late. The trust, once shattered, was gone. Losing a true friend, a brother, because of your own colossal arrogance, your own monumental stupidity, that is a specific kind of regret, a gnawing, aching pain that stays with you forever. It completely fundamentally changes how you view every single relationship moving forward. It is an expensive lesson. Let me tell you, not just in emotional currency, but in the lost opportunities, the lost growth. Ebu we walk around acting like genuine ride or die friends, the kind who would bury a body for you, are a renewable resource. Like there is an endless supply of them on Amazon Prime. We treat people like they're disposable, like a single-use plastic fork, just because there are 8 billion more of them on the planet. But finding someone whose soul actually resonates with yours, someone who will defend your name in a room you aren't even in, someone who will push you towards succeeding, who will literally pull you out of the mud when you're stuck. That, my friends, is a 1-in-a-million lottery ticket, a winning Powerball. You do not throw that away lightly. But here is a trap, a sneaky, insidious trap that catches so many people who are genuinely trying to level up the guilt of outgrowing your friends. We were taught that loyalty is the ultimate virtue, the gold standard. And yes, it absolutely is. But a lot of us confuse loyalty to a person with loyalty to history. You have this friend, you've known them since middle school, you used to do absolutely everything together, smoke cigarettes behind the gym, try to sneak into R-rated movies, you shared secrets, you shared dreams, but now, you're trying to build a future, you're trying to get your mind right. You're trying to focus on your goals, your financial freedom, and all they want to do is gossip, complain about their dead-end job, and waste their weekends away with zero ambition. Whenever you hang out with them, you feel drained, utterly exhausted, like they've sucked the very life force out of you. You feel like you have to shrink yourself, numb down your ambitions, and pretend you care about some meaningless drama just to keep the peace, to avoid conflict. Listen to me, and listen good. It is okay to outgrow people. It really is. It doesn't mean they're a bad person, not at all, and it certainly doesn't mean you're a villain, a heartless monster. It just means the season of that friendship, that particular chapter, is over. And that is okay. If you force yourself to stay in a friendship you've clearly outgrown purely out of nostalgia, purely because of shared history, you're going to end up resenting them deeply, and you're going to sabotage your own growth, your own upward trajectory. You cannot, no matter how hard you try, drag someone up a mountain if they are completely, absolutely determined to stay at the bottom. Sometimes the most respectful thing you can do for both of you is to just let the distance happen naturally, to let them go. It is not a failure, it is just evolution. And that brings me to another massive, absolutely critical test of real friendship. How do they handle conflict? Fake friendships. Oh boy, they are incredibly fragile, like spun glass. They exist entirely on good moods, on convenience, on a complete lack of any real pressure. The moment there is even a tiny bit of friction, a disagreement, a misinterpreted text, a time when you have to say no to hanging out because you need to work on your side hustle, or because you actually need sleep, the whole flimsy relationship shatters. They guilt, trip you, they talk behind your back, they ghost you entirely, leaving you wondering what the hell just happened. A real friendship, though, a genuine one, that is anti-fragile. It gets stronger when it is tested. Think about the best friend you've ever had, that one person you can always count on. I guarantee you've had a moment where you were absolutely furious at each other, screaming, yelling, slamming doors, but a real friend respects you enough to have the uncomfortable conversation. They don't just run away when the vibes get slightly weird or when things aren't perfectly smooth. They sit down, they hash it out, they apologize if they were wrong, and you both move forward. Stronger if you have to constantly walk on eggshells around someone, terrified that one wrong move, one wrong word will end the friendship forever. That is not your friend, folks. That is a hostage situation, and you need to escape. A real friend loves you enough to let you be human, to make mistakes, to have bad days, to be imperfect, without threatening to abandon you at the first sign of trouble. That is the kind of loyalty that pays dividends.